My beloved child, today's message is one that will change the way you see your life, your relationships, and the divine path set before you. There is a moment in everyone's life when something shifts, when someone you once held dear begins to fade from your world. But what if I told you this is not a loss, but a divine intervention? What if this painful departure is actually a blessing in disguise, a preparation for something far greater? Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you will understand why certain people disappear from your life, and more importantly, why God allows it. His wisdom is beyond our understanding, yet His love never fails. Like this video if you believe in God's plan, and comment below what resonates with you the most. Let this be an opportunity to grow in faith and receive the message He has prepared for you today. Watch until the end, because the lessons from Jesus in this video may be exactly what you need to hear right now. Trust that you are here for a reason. Jesus blesses those who seek Him with an open heart. My beloved child, this month will bring a transformation, one that might feel unsettling at first, but I assure you, it is a step towards something greater. There is someone in your life who will leave, and though this departure may bring sadness, confusion, or even a sense of betrayal, do not fear. For I, your Lord, am the one orchestrating this change. Have you ever questioned why certain people enter your life only to leave? Have you ever struggled to understand why relationships, friendships, or even family bonds sometimes fall apart despite your best efforts to hold them together? Today, I want you to understand something profound. Nothing happens outside of my divine plan. Every person in your life serves a purpose, some to uplift you, some to challenge you, and others to teach you lessons that shape your soul. But not all are meant to stay forever. You see, just as the seasons change, so do the people in your life. Some are like the gentle spring rain, bringing nourishment and renewal, while others are like the stormy winds, shaking your foundation to reveal what is truly unshakable. And then, there are those who are like autumn leaves, falling away when their time has come, making way for new growth. But you, my beloved, must not dwell in sorrow when these shifts occur. Instead, lift your eyes to me. For when I take something away, I do so with great purpose. I am not a God of disorder but of divine order. When I remove someone from your life, it is not a punishment, but a preparation. Think of Jesus and His journey on earth. Even He faced moments of abandonment. Judas, one of His own disciples, betrayed Him. Peter denied Him. The crowds that once praised Him turned against Him. Yet, did these losses break Him? No. They were part of the divine design, fulfilling a greater mission. You, too, are walking a divine path, and part of this journey requires letting go. Do not cling to those whom I have released. Some people bring more harm than good. They lead you astray, fill your heart with doubt, or prevent you from fully stepping into your purpose. And while it may not be easy to recognize, I see what you cannot. I know the hearts of all, and I act according to what is best for you. You have spent nights wondering, why did they leave me? Did I do something wrong? But my child, the answer is no. Their season in your life has ended. Just as a gardener prunes a tree to make way for stronger branches, I prune your life to remove what no longer serves you. In the Bible, I spoke to Abraham, telling him to leave his homeland, his family, and all that was familiar. Why? Because I was leading him to a greater promise. I was calling him into a new land, a place flowing with abundance, a destiny far beyond what he could see. But had he refused to let go, had he clung to what was comfortable, he would have never received what I had in store for him. The same is true for you. There are people, places, and situations that I am calling you to release. It is not because you are unworthy or because you failed, it is because I have something better. But you must trust me. This month, my child, I am shifting things in your life. The person who will leave is not a loss, but a release. They have served their purpose, and now it is time for you to step into the new chapter one have written for you. It may hurt. It may feel as if a part of you is being torn away. But do not grieve what I have removed. Instead, rejoice, for I am making room for something new. Do you remember the story of Joseph? His own brothers betrayed him, selling him into slavery. Imagine the pain he must have felt, wondering why those he loved turned against him. But years later, when Joseph rose to power in Egypt, he understood, what his brothers meant for evil, I used for good. Had they not betrayed him, he would not have been positioned to save an entire nation from famine. You, too, may feel betrayed. You may feel abandoned. But I assure you, there is a greater plan at work. What seems like rejection is actually redirection. Let me remind you of my promise, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future, Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Do not let your heart be troubled. Trust that my ways are higher than yours. Some of you watching this right now are struggling with a heavy heart. Perhaps a friend, a loved one, or even someone you deeply trusted has distanced themselves from you. You replay conversations in your mind, wondering if you could have done something differently. But my child, hear me clearly, what is meant for you will stay, and what is not will leave, no matter how much you try to hold on. So do not fight against what I am doing. Do not beg for what is leaving. Instead, surrender. Let go. Step forward with faith, knowing that I am leading you into something greater. My beloved child, you are not alone. Even in this moment, as you listen to these words, my presence is with you. My angels are surrounding you. My love is covering you. And I am preparing something extraordinary for you. Walk forward in faith. Let go of the past. Embrace the new season I am bringing into your life. You will see, what I take away is nothing compared to what I am about to give you. Stay with me, trust in my plan, and watch as I transform your life in ways you never imagined. Now, if this message has spoken to your heart, I want you to comment below, I trust in God's plan, as a declaration of your faith. And remember, like this video and share it with someone who needs this message today. Jesus is guiding you, and if you watch until the end, I will reveal more about the incredible blessings He has prepared for you. Do not miss what He is about to do in your life. Stay with me. My beloved child, there is a divine reason you are here, listening to this message right now. Your heart has been heavy, your mind filled with questions, and perhaps even a quiet sense of loss that you cannot quite put into words. But today, let me lift that burden. Let me open your eyes to a truth that has been woven into your life since the moment you took your first breath. I, your Lord, am guiding you, even in the moments that feel uncertain. There are times when you look at your life and wonder why things don't stay the same. Relationships that once felt so strong begin to fade. People you trusted suddenly distance themselves. Situations that once brought you joy now seem to cause you pain. And in those moments, doubt creeps in. You ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Could I have changed the outcome? But my child, hear me, what is leaving your life is not a mistake. It is a divine realignment. Think of a river flowing towards the sea. The water does not resist the curves of the land, nor does it question why some paths close while others open. It simply moves forward, trusting in the course set before it. You, too, must trust. For I am the one who directs the currents of your life. I am the one who removes what no longer serves your purpose, what hinders your growth, what weighs your soul down when you were meant to rise. There is a weight you have been carrying, one that was never meant for you to bear. A relationship that has drained you, an expectation that has held you captive, a longing for something that was never meant to stay. My child, I see your heart. I see how you have held on, hoping things would change, praying that the outcome would be different. But I tell you now, do not grieve what I have removed. Do not cling to the past when I am calling you into something new. When Jesus walked among men, He encountered many who followed Him for a season, but not all remained. Some left when the truth became difficult to accept. Others walked away when their hearts were tested. Yet, did their departure alter His purpose? No. For his mission was never about holding on to what was not meant to stay, but about fulfilling the divine plan set before him. My child, if even the Son of Man had to release certain people along his journey, why do you think your path would be any different? You must understand this: I do not take away without giving something greater. I do not remove without a purpose. There are things, people, and situations that you have outgrown. You have been praying for growth, for peace, for a deeper connection with me. And yet, you struggle to release what is holding you back. My beloved, you cannot step into your new season while clinging to the past. You cannot receive with open hands if they are still grasping onto what I have asked you to let go of. In the scriptures, I spoke through the prophet Isaiah, saying, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." Isaiah 43 verse 19. I am doing a new thing in your life, my child, but you must perceive it. You must trust that when one door closes, another is about to open. But how can you walk through that door if your heart is still standing in the past? There will be moments when you look back, when memories resurface, and a part of you wonders, what if? But I tell you, my beloved, do not entertain those thoughts. The enemy wants you to dwell in regret, to question my plan, to believe that you have lost something when in reality, you have been set free. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. You are not losing, you are being prepared. You are not abandoned, you are being aligned with something greater than you could ever imagine. Joseph did not understand why he was betrayed by his own brothers. He did not see the purpose in being thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for years. But had he not walked through those painful seasons, he would have never reached the palace. Had he not endured the hardship, he would have never been in a position to save his family and an entire nation. My child, your pain is not without purpose. Your loss is not without gain. What feels like rejection is often redirection. I know you have spent nights crying, feeling as if your prayers have gone unanswered. But let me remind you, no tear has been wasted. No prayer has been unheard. No moment of pain has been unseen. I am working, even when you do not see it. I am moving, even when it feels like nothing is changing. The silence is not absence, it is preparation. The waiting is not punishment, it is refinement. The closed doors are not rejection, they are divine protection. I am calling you into a season of renewal. A time where your heart will no longer be weighed down by unfulfilled hopes and lingering disappointments. A time where you will walk with clarity, with strength, with unshakable faith. But for that to happen, you must release. You must trust. You must step forward, even when you cannot yet see the road ahead. Remember, when the Israelites stood before the Red Sea, they saw an obstacle. But what they did not see was that I had already made a way. What they feared was impossible was already in motion. And when the waters parted, they walked forward on dry ground. My child, what you see as an ending, I see as the beginning of something miraculous. What you fear is impossible, I have already made a way for. But you must walk forward in faith. Do not be afraid to let go. Do not fear what is leaving. Trust that I am guiding you, that I am preparing you, that I am leading you into a season that is greater than anything you have known before. My plans for you are not small. My vision for your life is not limited. If only you could see what I have prepared, you would not hesitate. You would not question. You would run towards it with joy. But for now, I ask you to trust. To rest in my presence. To know that I am holding you, even in the moments when you feel alone. My beloved, you are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are deeply, unconditionally loved. Walk forward. Let go. Trust me. For what I have in store for you is beyond anything you have imagined. My beloved child, there is a deep stirring in your heart. You can feel the shift happening, even if you don't fully understand it yet. Something inside you knows that you are on the edge of a new season, yet the weight of uncertainty lingers. You wonder if you are strong enough, ready enough, or if the pain of letting go is something you can truly endure. But hear me now, my beloved, you do not walk this path alone. I am with you, every step, every breath, every tear that falls. There is a pruning happening in your life, a necessary cutting away of what no longer serves you. If a tree is never pruned, its branches will grow wild, tangled, and heavy with things that do not bear fruit. But when the gardener comes and carefully removes what is unnecessary, the tree finds new strength. It stands taller, its roots grow deeper, and soon, new life emerges. My child, I am the gardener of your soul. I am removing what is weighing you down so that you may flourish in the season ahead. I know it is hard to understand when you are in the midst of it. I know there are days when you question why I allow certain things to happen. But trust in my divine wisdom, for I see what you cannot. You are looking at this moment through the lens of the present, but I see the full picture. I see where you are going, what you are becoming, and the incredible blessings I have prepared for you. And for you to step into them, you must be willing to release what is behind. Think of Abraham, whom I called to leave everything he had ever known. I told him to go to a land I would show him, without telling him where it was, without revealing the full plan. And yet, he obeyed. He left the familiar behind, not because he understood everything, but because he trusted me. And because of that trust, I made him the father of nations. My child, I am calling you to that same kind of faith. To walk forward, even when you cannot see the full path. To trust me, even when your heart aches with uncertainty. I know what you have been through. I have seen the moments when you felt alone, when you wondered if anyone truly understood the battles you were facing. I have been with you in the silent nights, when no one else could hear your cries. And I tell you now, those moments were not in vain. Every tear, every struggle, every unanswered question has been shaping you, refining you, preparing you for what is ahead. You have been holding on to people, places, and expectations that no longer align with where I am taking you. You have prayed for change, but when I begin to move, you hesitate. You have asked for doors to open, yet you cling to the ones I am closing. My beloved, you must trust that I am leading you to something greater. You cannot receive the new if your hands are still full of the old. You cannot step into your purpose while carrying the weight of what was never meant to stay. When Jesus walked the earth, he never begged anyone to stay. He never clung to those who walked away. He understood that not everyone was meant to go with him to the cross, that not everyone was ready to follow him into the fullness of his calling. My child, you must understand the same truth. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into this next chapter. Some were only meant to be part of the journey for a season. And when that season ends, it is not a loss, it is a divine shift. Do not let fear keep you tied to what is already gone. Do not let regret make you question my plan. What I remove, I replace with something greater. What I take away, I restore in ways you cannot imagine. You may feel empty now, but I am making space for something new. You may feel lost, but I am guiding you with a purpose that is higher than your understanding. Remember the story of Peter when he stepped out of the boat. As long as his eyes were fixed on Jesus, he walked on water. But the moment he looked at the waves, at the uncertainty surrounding him, he began to sink. My child, do not let the fear of the unknown pull you under. Keep your eyes on me. I am calling you to walk forward in faith, to step into the unknown with confidence that I will sustain you. There is something I have placed inside you, a light that cannot be dimmed, a calling that cannot be erased. The people who have doubted you, the voices that have told you that you are not enough, they do not define your destiny. I do. The past does not dictate your future. I do. The pain you have endured will not break you, it will build you. You were created for more than this moment. You were created for something greater than what you have settled for. The comfort of the past may feel safe, but it is not where you are meant to stay. I am stretching you, calling you higher, drawing you closer to the life I designed for you. Do not resist the process. Do not fight what I am doing. Surrender, trust, and watch as I unfold my plan before you. My beloved, there is a door in front of you, a new season waiting to begin. But you cannot enter if you are still standing in the past. You cannot walk through if you are holding on to the things I have asked you to release. Will you trust me? Will you step forward even when you don't have all the answers? Will you believe that my plans for you are good, even when they do not look the way you expected? You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. Every promise I have spoken over your life will come to pass. Every prayer you have lifted has been heard. I am moving, I am working, and soon you will see the evidence of what I have been doing all along. Keep walking, my child. Keep believing. Keep trusting. For the best is yet to come. My beloved child, do you feel the stirring within your spirit? That quiet, persistent whisper urging you forward, reminding you that where you are now is not where you are meant to stay. That is my voice calling you to trust, to step beyond your comfort, and to embrace the new season I have prepared for you. I see the way you have been holding on. Gripping tightly to what is familiar, even when you know deep inside that I am asking you to release it. I know you have asked, but Lord, why must I let go? Why must I walk away from what once brought me joy? My child, you must understand that not every joy is meant to last forever. Some moments are like the morning dew, beautiful, refreshing, but fleeting. They serve their purpose, then they disappear, making way for something greater. What I have for you is not temporary. The plans I have for you are not built on fleeting happiness, but on eternal fulfillment, on deep, lasting peace that cannot be shaken. Have you ever watched the ocean waves? They rush to the shore, only to retreat again, never resisting the call of the tide. They do not fight the change, for they know that their movement is part of something far greater than themselves. My child, I am asking you to trust me in the same way. Stop resisting what I am doing in your life. Stop trying to hold on to what I have already released. When I take something away, it is not because I am depriving you, it is because I am making room for something more. Look at the life of Moses. He was raised in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by wealth and power. He had everything that the world would call security. But I had something greater for him. I had a plan to use him to deliver my people, to lead them into a promise that would change history. But for that to happen, Moses had to leave behind everything he knew. He had to walk away from comfort, from familiarity, from a life that made sense. And for a time, he wandered in the wilderness, unsure of what was ahead. Yet, in that season of uncertainty, I was shaping him. I was preparing him for a calling far greater than the palace he had left behind. My child, you may be in your own wilderness right now. You may feel as if you have lost more than you have gained. But trust me when I say this, your wilderness is not the end of your story. It is a place of preparation. It is where I refine you, where I remove the things that cannot go with you into your next season. What you see as a loss, I see as necessary growth. What you fear is breaking you, I am using to build you. You have asked me for new blessings, for deeper purpose, for greater fulfillment. And I have heard your prayers. But to step into what is next, you must first release what is behind. The longer you cling to what I have removed, the longer you delay your own breakthrough. Do you not see? I am already moving on your behalf. I am already opening doors that no man can shut. I am already aligning the right people, the right opportunities, and the right moments that will bring you into the fullness of my plan. But, my child, I cannot give you what is new if you are still holding on to what is old. You cannot carry yesterday's burdens into tomorrow's blessings. You cannot move forward if your heart is still tied to what I have asked you to leave behind. Do you trust me enough to let go? Do you believe that my plans for you are truly good? Remember when Peter and the disciples had been fishing all night and caught nothing? They were exhausted, discouraged, ready to give up. But then Jesus came to them and said, "Cast your net on the other side." At first, it didn't make sense. They had already tried. They had already given their best effort. But because of their faith, because they obeyed my word, they cast their nets again, and what happened? They caught so many fish that their nets could barely hold them. My child, this is what I am asking of you now. You may feel as if you have tried everything, as if you have given your all. But I am telling you to cast your net again, not where you have been, but in the place I am leading you. What I have for you is greater than what you have left behind. But you must trust me enough to step forward. You must believe that I am not taking something away. I am leading you to something that will overflow with abundance, with joy, with purpose. There are times when you feel weary, when your heart grows heavy with doubt. You wonder if you are strong enough to keep going. You question whether my promises will truly come to pass in your life. But hear me now, my beloved, I am faithful. I have never failed, and I will not start now. What I have spoken over your life will come to pass, in my timing and in my way. Do not grow tired of trusting me. Do not let fear convince you that I have forgotten you. Every step you take in faith is leading you closer to the fulfillment of my promises. When the Israelites stood before the walls of Jericho, they had no idea how those walls would fall. They did not have the strength to tear them down on their own. But I told them to march in faith, to walk even when they did not understand, to believe even when nothing seemed to be changing. And because they obeyed, because they trusted, those walls came crashing down. What walls are you facing, my child? What obstacles stand before you, making you feel as if the promise is too far out of reach? Do not be afraid. Do not turn back. March forward. Trust that even when you cannot see it, I am working. Trust that what looks impossible is already being rearranged in your favor. Do not let your heart be troubled, my beloved. For I am with you in this moment. My hand is upon your life. My spirit is leading you. Even when you feel lost, you are never outside of my sight. Even when you feel broken, you are never beyond my healing. Even when you feel weak, my strength is made perfect in you. So take heart. Lift your head. Do not grieve what I have removed. Rejoice in what I am bringing. Do not mourn what is behind you. Look forward to what is ahead. For I, the Lord your God, am making all things new. My child, it is time. It is time to release. It is time to trust. It is time to step forward into the destiny I have prepared for you. Will you trust me? Will you let go? Will you believe that my plans for you are greater than what you are leaving behind? Keep your eyes on me. Keep your heart steadfast. Keep walking, my beloved, for you are on the verge of something miraculous. My beloved child, the time has come for you to stand firm in faith. You have been walking in the tension between what was and what is yet to come. You have felt the weight of uncertainty, the longing for answers, the ache of waiting. But hear me now, this waiting is not wasted. This in-between moment is not a void, but a place of transformation. You are being prepared, molded, strengthened for what lies ahead. I know the battle in your heart. You look at what you have lost, and a part of you wonders if you will ever feel whole again. You replay the memories, the conversations, the moments you thought would last forever, and you ask, why did it have to end this way? But my child, I need you to see through my eyes. What you have lost was never truly lost, it was released. What you thought was an ending was merely the closing of a chapter, so that I could begin something new. Look at the story of Job. He was a man of great faith, yet he endured a season of unimaginable loss. His wealth, his family, his health, everything seemed to be stripped away. And in his pain, he cried out, questioning, longing for understanding. But what Job did not see in the moment was that his suffering was not a sign of abandonment, it was a setup for restoration. In the end, I gave him back double what he had lost. Not because I took pleasure in his suffering, but because I was preparing him for something greater. My child, do you trust that I can do the same for you? That the pain you have felt, the tears you have shed, are not the conclusion of your story, but the foundation for a new beginning? I have not brought you this far to leave you now. I have not allowed this season of loss without a plan to bring restoration. But I need you to surrender. I need you to release your grip on the past and open your hands to what I am about to pour into your life. Have you noticed how the trees let go of their leaves in autumn? They do not fight to hold on to what is dying. They release it, trusting that in due time, new life will emerge. My beloved, I am calling you to do the same. Stop clinging to what is fading. Stop trying to revive what I have called you to let go of. When you release, you make room. When you surrender, you step into freedom. Remember when I led the Israelites out of Egypt? They had prayed for deliverance, longed for freedom, and yet, when the time came to step into the unknown, many of them hesitated. They looked back at the very place that enslaved them and wondered if they should return. Not because Egypt was good, but because it was familiar. My child, do not let familiarity keep you from the promise I have for you. Do not let the comfort of what was keep you from stepping into what could be. You were not meant to go back. You were meant to move forward. You have been waiting for a sign, for confirmation that it is time to let go. This is that moment. This is that word. I am speaking to you now, calling you to trust me like never before. The doors I am about to open will require your full faith. The blessings I am preparing will require hands that are open, ready to receive. Do not allow fear to keep you tethered to a past that no longer serves you. I see how you have questioned your worth, how you have wondered if you are truly deserving of the good things I have promised. But let me tell you this, my beloved, you are worthy. Not because of what you have done, but because of who I am. I have chosen you. I have set you apart. My love for you is not conditional on your past, your failures, or your shortcomings. It is eternal, unwavering, unshakable. Do not let the voices of doubt drown out my truth. The enemy will try to make you believe that you are unworthy, that you have made too many mistakes, that the best days are behind you. But he is a liar. He wants to keep you stuck in shame, paralyzed by fear, distracted by regret. My child, you must silence those voices and listen to mine. I say you are loved. I say you are chosen. I say you are called for something greater than you can imagine. You do not need to have all the answers right now. You do not need to see the full picture. All I ask is that you trust me one step at a time. When Peter stepped out of the boat, he did not know how he would walk on water. He simply knew that I had called him. And as long as his eyes were fixed on me, he stood above the waves. But the moment he allowed fear to creep in, he began to sink. My beloved, do not let fear pull you under. Keep your eyes on me. Keep your faith anchored in my word. There will be moments when the enemy tries to bring back the past, to remind you of what you lost, to make you question whether you made the right choice in letting go. When that happens, speak my promises. Declare my truth over your life. Say, I trust in the Lord's plan. I know He is leading me to something greater. I release what no longer serves me and embrace the new season He has prepared. The words you speak have power, my child. Let them be words of faith, not fear. My plans for you are beyond what you have imagined. You have prayed for breakthrough, and now I am asking you to prepare for it. You have asked for clarity, and I am about to reveal it. But you must be ready. You must be willing to walk forward, to leave behind what is no longer meant for you, and to embrace what I am doing now. There is a shift happening in the spirit. The weight you have been carrying is being lifted. The chains that have held you back are breaking. You may not feel it yet, but I tell you, it is already in motion. The new thing I am doing in your life is not coming, it has already begun. But you must perceive it. You must step into it with expectation, with trust, with a heart that is fully surrendered. Do not be afraid, my beloved. For I am with you. I have gone before you, making a way where there was none. I am opening doors that no man can shut. I am aligning the right people, the right opportunities, the right moments that will lead you into the fullness of my plan. You will look back on this season and see that every loss was actually a setup for something greater. Every tear was watering the soil for new growth. Every moment of waiting was building something deep within you. So lift your head. Stand in confidence. Let go of what was and step into what is coming. My child, you were created for more than where you are now. You were called to something greater than what you have known. Trust me. Follow my lead. And watch as I unfold a future far beyond your greatest dreams. My beloved child, as you stand at this threshold of change, I want you to take a deep breath and know this: you are not alone. You have never been alone. From the moment you took your first steps, I have been guiding you. Through every challenge, every heartbreak, and every unanswered question, I have been right there, holding you even when you could not feel it. And now, as you prepare to step into this new season, I ask you once more, do you trust me? I see the questions that still linger in your heart. You wonder, what if I let go and nothing better comes? What if I step forward and fail? But my child, when have I ever failed you? When have I ever left you without provision? The enemy will try to make you doubt, to make you believe that letting go means losing. But hear me, letting go in faith means gaining more than you could ever imagine. When you release your grip on what is no longer meant for you, you free yourself to receive what I have been preparing for you all along. Think of the disciples who left everything behind to follow Jesus. They had their own plans, their own lives, yet when he called them, they obeyed. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't know what the journey ahead would look like. But they trusted. And because of that trust, they witnessed miracles. They saw lives transformed. They became part of a story far greater than anything they could have built on their own. My child, I am calling you to that same faith. I am asking you to let go, not just with your hands, but with your heart. Do not let the weight of the past rob you of the joy I have set before you. Do not let the fear of the unknown keep you from walking in faith. I am doing a new thing in your life. Do you perceive it? Do you see how I have been aligning everything, orchestrating even the smallest details, preparing you for what is to come? There are doors that will open for you that no man can shut. There are blessings with your name on them, waiting for you to take the next step. You will not always understand my ways, but my child, you do not have to. Your calling is not to control, but to trust. Your responsibility is not to figure everything out, but to believe. Faith is not about having all the answers, it is about knowing that I do. Faith is walking forward even when the path is unclear, knowing that I will make a way where there is no way. So what now, my beloved? Now is the time for you to act. Now is the time for you to stand in faith, to declare my promises over your life, to silence the doubts that whisper, what if, and replace them with the truth, God is in control. God is faithful. God is leading me. My child, I want you to take these lessons and apply them in your daily life. When you find yourself struggling to let go of a relationship, remember, not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. Some are lessons, some are blessings, and some are simply passing through. Pray for discernment, and trust that I will remove those who are not meant to stay. When you face unexpected loss, do not be consumed by grief. Instead, ask yourself, what is God preparing me for? Understand that my plans are greater than your understanding, and that loss often makes way for something far greater. When fear tries to keep you from stepping forward, remind yourself, God goes before me. I have already made a way. You are not stepping into the unknown alone, I am walking with you. When doubt creeps in, when you question your worth, when the enemy tries to make you believe that you are not enough, speak my truth over yourself. Say, I am chosen. I am loved. I am called for a greater purpose. Do not allow the lies of this world to define you, let my word define you. And most importantly, when you feel weary, when life feels overwhelming, come to me. Bring me your burdens, and I will give you rest. Do not carry what was never meant for you to carry. My love for you is unshakable, my presence is unmovable, and my plans for you are unstoppable. Now, I want you to take a moment and declare in the comments, I trust in God's plan. Let this be your step of faith, your commitment to walk forward without fear, to embrace what I am doing in your life. If this message has spoken to you, if you feel my presence stirring within you, like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this. You never know whose life you may touch simply by sharing my word. And now, my beloved, I pray for you, Father, I lift up every person watching this video. You know their struggles, their fears, their uncertainties. Lord, I ask that you fill them with peace that surpasses all understanding. Give them the courage to release what no longer serves them, to trust in your divine plan, and to walk boldly into the new season you have prepared. Strengthen their faith, renew their hearts, and remind them daily that they are deeply loved, divinely chosen, and never alone. In the mighty name of Jesus, Amen. Now, go forth, my child. Step into the life I have prepared for you. You are ready. You are strong. You are walking in my promise. And remember, I am always with you.